did some stuff this weekend, Paul Thurrott, mostly out of passive-aggressive hatred, which is my favorite kind of hatred.
Okay. What? Please explain.
I replaced every cabinet door hinge in my house with soft close hinges, so nobody in my house can slam a cabinet door. My wife's like, I don't find the noise that annoying. And
Oh my God.
every male that I have talked to has said is like you hear it and you're just like, ugh, like all. So every single.
So glad you said this. I had this
bathrooms,
exact conversation with my wife this weekend. But please continue, and I will explain how.
Anyway, no, so it wasn't hard to do. I was able to find exact like you just pull the old ones out, they drop right in, screw in. But there's like a lot of hinges in my house when you include the bathroom and all the cabinet doors in the kitchen. But Paul, for about 18 hours now, I have not heard a cabinet door slam. And that nature is healing, mostly my sanity. Anyways.
So, how do I even explain this story? I mean, there are certain sounds that just make me crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter what my wife has diagnosed in me that makes that she believes this is, but I just said, look, it doesn't matter to me what you think it is. All that matters to me is that you understand how this tortures me, and that it's important to me that these noises stop. You know, like one of the things that makes me crazy is my dog walks on the tile floor at our house, and it's like tip, 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 and it's like clip freaking nails. Like you have to stop this. And she's like, it's been like this since we got. No, it hasn't been. I can tell when her nails are long. It makes me insane. And she tells me that my daughter has the same problem, that she clearly got this from me. And I'm like, I don't care about the medical nature of it. I just want it to stop. And I just need you to understand, as someone who supposedly loves me, this is important to me.
Supposedly.
This has to stop. Like, well, you clearly does. All you do is complain and give me reasons. I just want it to stop.
Yep.
You know, like, that's interesting. So I can't wait to tell her the story.
Yeah.
I might require you to, call her on the phone and explain it to her in your own words.
But then there was an ominous threat after I finished this. Not that we live in a household driven by fear, but let's be honest, we probably all do. I showed both my wife and my daughter that if you do, in fact, slam them hard enough, you will override the soft close mechanism, and it will. And I said, if that happens, you're going to have to put me in a home.
I will know you did this maliciously.
Yes, this was...
And the retribution will be swift.
Exactly.
Oh, boy. That's funny. That's actually very... I mean, I'm glad to hear that in a way. I don't mean that in a mean way. I mean...
Yeah, it's whatever.
It's interesting to me. Okay.
It took me far too long to realize that I could just buy the exact same hinges and just swap them out. And it took me maybe an hour, 2 hours.
Wow. No, that's great.
So, anyways, that was my...
Well, good for you. Anyway, that's great. That's great.
Yeah. That's...
All right, so... because stories of me being a freaking idiot probably never get old.
No, they don't. Please go.
Yesterday, my wife decided that she wanted us to go to I'll call it a flea market. In Mexico City. A flea market is this thing of the size of the town I live in that is, it's incredible. And actually, it is incredible. It's incredible in good ways too. It's incredible. But it's out in some part of the city that is near the IKEA, which is not near where we are usually. And she said, well, since we're out here, why don't we just go over to the IKEA? And I was like, our IKEA is always the same. I mean, but she's excited about the house and everything. And, okay. All right. So we went to the IKEA. And actually, here's the thing you'll appreciate as a guy, too. You probably do this. First of all, the way I'm dressed right now is the way people here would dress. The shirt, pants, shoes, You don't see shorts here. This is not the way people dress. But as an American, I like to be comfortable. I usually wear baggy shorts. And in a foreign country especially, but honestly anywhere out in the world that's not my own home. I mean, I wouldn't walk around with my wallet and all this stuff, And one of the nice things about being away like we are now is my wife has like this little purse thing, for lack of a better term, that she brings with her. So I'll be like, look, it's not safe or smart for me to even bring my wallet. Like, why would I even do that? So I bring my phone basically, and that's it. And, but I am dressed like an idiot American, so I've got the baggy shorts, which I know is just stupid, not the right thing to do. So we're walking around IKEA. Blah, blah, look at this. We sit on this couch. We look at this, whatever it is. And I do that guy thing, this is what I was getting at. I think you must do this too. As a guy, I think you, especially when you're out in the world, will occasionally, without even realizing you're doing it, kind of pat yourself down, make sure everything's where it belongs. And I don't like, if you have a wallet, or you have a keys, or a phone, whatever, you're like, And so halfway through our trip to IKEA, I was like, my phone was gone. And I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me? And of course, we're in like Mexico City, 22 million people, and obviously an American, baggy shorts. I'm like, I got pickpocketed. And I'm like, this is not the first time I've gotten a phone stolen outside of the United States. Classic. So, problem is, like, we're 40 minutes away from the Airbnb we were at the time, and I'm telling the story about how stupid I am, honey. And look, it's probably locked. No one could get into it. It's a modern. It's a Pixel. It's a Pixel. So no one really used it. It's got 2 SIM cards in it. You'd have to sign into something. They couldn't just use those. But I have to report the phone as stolen. I have to cancel those 2 SIM cards. I have to make sure. You never know. Google Pay, something could have happened. I don't know. So I'm like, we got to get the hell out of here. So we start walking backwards toward the front. And I said, hey, why don't you start calling the phone? Maybe we'll hear it ring. Maybe they're still around. And she does. And someone answers the phone. And they asked her if we were an IKEA customer. And we said, yes. And then we couldn't hear anything else. So we found an IKEA employee, told them what happened, found someone who could speak English, told them what happened. So walked us all the way up to some other floor, which I didn't really want to leave the area, but whatever. And it turns out, this is what had happened, was I sat in a couch. I've done this a million times. I've done this at home. The baggy pants, shorts, the phone slipped out of the pocket, fell onto the couch. I walked away from it. And a person shopping in the store found it, brought it to an employee. They brought it up to the lost and found or security area, whatever. And then they gave it back to me. So it went from like, here, of course, I've been ripped off in another country. This is what Mr. Paul, I'm an idiot, to I'm just an idiot. And hopefully someone will learn a lesson from this. Certainly I have. So, I think if I had known I was going to be going, I might have worn, I have normal shorts, like tighter shorts, I guess I'll call them. Yeah, not a proud moment, but it worked out. It ended up working.
Well, good. Tomorrow, well, you're flying home, right? You're flying home tomorrow. There's the Apple event, and this one will be interesting, not from what they're announcing, but the branding. So there's been a name floating around over the weekend, and it involves the word studio.
I know.
Now,
interesting choice, huh?
I actually have 2 studio-branded Microsoft devices in my house. I can see one of them right now, which is a Surface Studio. And upstairs, my primary work travel laptop is the Surface Laptop Studio. And Apple is apparently working on something that might be called Studio. We don't know yet. But
I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll see.
I mean, how many names are there to describe these things?
I don't know, but that's why trademarks and patents exist.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't, right? Microsoft doesn't have a Surface Air, for example.
Exactly.
I same thing went through my head, of course.
So, anyways, that event takes place tomorrow. Tim Cook, well, I don't think it's in person. It's got to be.
I can't imagine it. Well, you know what, though? I feel like...
Is it? I don't
know. No, they haven't had an in-person event, but I think they've done in-person briefings.
Yeah, I wonder if they did that.
So I bet they'll do that kind of thing.
So, anyways, we'll be on the lookout for whatever Tim Apple whips up over on the Cupertino side of the coin. 5G iPhone SE, iPad Air, new Mac Studios. Maybe.
The only thing I care about is the new Air, whenever that happens.
Yeah,
that's tomorrow. I think that's going to be really exciting, and I think they're going to. I think I sell millions of those things.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one of those huge sellers for the back-to-school season. And so it makes sense for them to get it out now, have it available this summer. You can buy it, ship your little Timmy off to school, pat him on the butt with their baby blue MacBook Air, whatever.
I guess the other thing that might be interesting is if there's a new chipset, right? So
one
of the
that's true.
questions is whether there'll be an actual M2, or whatever they name it. So that's interesting. I will, like so many other people, learn about it later.
You're not gonna try to live stream it over GoGo in-flight Wi-Fi? You can get.
Dude, I can't even send a text message on GoGo Wi-Fi. Why would I? Why would I? I don't. No.
You'll get the Internet Explorer experience. You can land and then catch up on everything that's already happened in the world.
I enjoy the cone of silence that is air flight. I will just focus and do other things.
One minor thing, because I know that you've got to run. So we're going to this. I was up late last night. So we're going to whatever out west. We booked we booked these flights, whatever, November or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously COVID went, and flights are just changing all the time. So like, you know what, we're just gonna be happy as long as the flights, whatever. What we booked was a direct flight from Cincinnati to Las Vegas and a direct flight from Salt Lake City to Cincinnati. So direct both ways, the optimal route.
I know where this is going.
It gets worse.
Yeah.
So the Salt Lake City flight in mid-January, when COVID was at its extreme, got canceled, and we got rerouted just once, just through Minneapolis and then to Cincinnati. It's like, fine, it's not that big of a deal, whatever, that's it. So I go online last night, I'm just doing like the last minute prep, make sure all the hotels are booked, the rental car is still good, and I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to look and see if there's any better flights. The direct flight was back.
Is back.
But it was called, it was originally like DL 944, this was DL 735. But they didn't put us back on it, and so
by the way, that might be why the flight number changed, because people like you would find this out and be like, "What are you doing?" Well, and they say, "Oh no, this is a different flight."
So that's exactly what I did. So I called Delta, and they're like, "The wait time is 5 hours." I was like, "F," and so they like, "You can text message us," and that's what I did. It took me like 2 hours, and I kept you message them, and they said, "Yep, got you all switched back on the flights." And I was about to be like, why wouldn't you just put me back on that? That's what we want. Anyways.
Why would you?
There you go.
Yeah, that's the gruesome reality of air travel. Sorry. Well, at least you fixed it.